and welcome to Correro. Well, we help you to dissect Nigerians' political issues and other pressing national issues. As a matter of fact, we say that Correro is your one-stop spot to get the best out of what is happening across the country. Well, my name is Godwin Sunday. Tonight on Correro, well, Nigerians' political space continues to raise critical questions, not just about leadership, but about the very structure of the parties that produce that leadership. Across board, concerns have persisted over internal democracy, candidate selection and processes, and the concentration of power within a few individuals or bloc. Now, for many observers, the strength of any democracy is closely tied to how transparent, inclusive, and accountable its political parties are. Now, the big question is, are Nigerian political parties truly reflecting the will of their members, or are they becoming vehicles for personal ambition and elite control? That's on one hand. Now, the second question is, and what does this even mean for governance, representation, and the overall health of the nation's democracy? So, tonight on Correro, we will examine the state of the nation by interrogating the structures of political parties, the challenges, the realities, and the reforms many believe are long overdue. Joining me on this table tonight is Comrade James Ezema, who is a public affairs analyst, and he will be helping us to put all of these issues in perspective. Comrade James Ezema, it's a delight to have you, Comrade James Ezema, on this auspicious month of March, which we regard as the month of Ramadan and also the month of Lent. So delight to have you.
Thank you very much for having me around.
All right, so let's even begin the conversation by first of all looking at the generality of what's happening in the country. A lot of issues are begging for answer.
Yeah.
Within the political space, we've seen a lot of cross-carpeting within the political lines. But help us understand, what is the major reason you feel that most of these political actors are defecting right now from party A to party B?
Primarily is because of lack of clear ideological framework for each political party. In Nigeria, political parties have no clear-cut ideological differences, so it is easy for individuals to move from one political party to another because the differences in ideology is not clearly defined. You don't know which one is a left-wing, which one is a right-wing party, which one is you can regard as progressive party. There is none that you can say these are conservative party and things like that. So we don't have such ideological definition of a political party as it were. So what we have really is where a situation where any individual who has money to buy from and then have people to sponsor him to buy from will just jump into any political party. He feels that that one can give him the access to political office, pay whatever amount that is required to buy the form. Then you just when the need arises, you pay delegates and then make promises to the party structure, as it were, which are the individuals who form the hierarchy of the political party. Make promises to them: when I get there, this is for you, that one is for you, and things like that. And then you are good to go. So you get to the elections, nobody is talking about whether the candidate is good or not. What people are thinking about is how much is coming from the candidate and how is the candidate able to pay the umpires, to get to office. So what you just see is that the person goes from motor park to funds, and then from fund that he has gotten to now move all the way to to a political office, and that is it. You just find yourself in a place, and that's why when they get there, they don't regard leaders. They don't even regard the people who actually voted for them, because to them, whether you voted for them or not, they are in the office where they are. So they voting for them or not voting for them makes no difference, because they will always have their way. So it is that is one of the major reasons why you see that it is easy to move at any point in time to different political parties, so long as it serves your purpose as a vehicle to either remain in office or to get into office. And then on the second leg is the coercive nature, and subtle coercions that are perceived to be fueling some of the defections, where people believe that there are inducements, to defect, the people that are targeted, to defect. And then people also believe that some of these defectors are defecting because either they want to ensure that they are not rigged out in the forthcoming election, or to ensure that they are not apprehended if their own party loses the presidency at the end of the day. So they want a situation whereby they will be at a place where their sins are forgiven in advance, and nobody will remember whatever they have done while in office. And these are partly the reasons why you see people jumping ship, not just because they are jumping ship because the political party in office today is doing well. If you conduct a vox pop today and you meet Nigerians and ask them how are the political parties doing, how are they faring as individuals in the last 2 to 3 years of the current administration, I'm sure they will tell you some things that will actually prick the heart of any person who still have conscience. But the truth of it is that political parties and elections in Nigeria are no longer by popularity. It's about how much of influence and how much of cash is there for you to be able to get through. So that is the problem that we're having, and the thing is really disastrous, because we are getting into a situation whereby individuals may not be able, to control the outcome, because you see there will be a pushback to the current system. There will be a pushback. There's a limit to which the people will endure. You get to a point that there will be a pushback, and I don't know how it's going to be.
Interesting times. But then there have been this speculation that the ruling All Progressive Congress is deliberately destabilizing all political parties in order to stay relevant. We've seen the governor of Zamfara State, who everybody believe cannot move from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress. He has eventually moved. So we are waiting for other governor, the Bauchi governor,
Governor Bala
Mohammed, to also join in. Of course, negotiations are also ongoing as it stands right now. No. But how will you react to the fact that, to the concern of Nigerians, that the ruling All Progressive Congress is deliberately destabilizing minority political parties in order to stay relevant?
Well, that's why we talk about some people believe that there's an element of coercion here and there. Nigerians know that some of these people that actually jumped ship, and those who are jumping and those who are about to jump, they are not doing so because they so much love the All Progressive Congress as a political party, or they are proud of the achievement of the party in the last 12 to 13 years. It's not as if they are so much proud. But the thing is that since 2015, the APC have moved from a minority political party, an opposition party, to a ruling party, and then a dominant party. Because, you see, what baffles Nigerians is that this is a political party that the ordinary citizen on the streets is feeling bad about, but they keep winning election. And even some of these citizens who you will meet and they will talk all kinds of things and tell you how much pained they are because of the policies of the government, they will still be part of those who will still go to vote for these people, because at a point there will be a kind of an exchange. Because they say a hungry man, the only language he listens to is food. Once you give a hungry man food, he is okay. He will go with you, because hunger is such that it makes you to lose sense of reasoning momentarily, because at that moment that you are hungry and you want food, what you are thinking about is survival. It's just like somebody who is very, very thirsty in the desert. The only language you will hear is water. So once he sees water, he will tell you, I'm not interested in anything. You can take even my belongings, take anything, so long as you give me water at this particular point in time. So that's what the biblical Esau did when he was too hungry. He was now talking about birthright. He said, what is the use of a birthright when I am a hungry man? So to hell with the birthright, let me eat first and survive, then we can be talking about whether there is a birthright or the other. But later on, when it happened that he satisfied his momentary hunger, and it dawned on him that he has lost the birthright, he decided to cry and wail to have it back. But the exchange has already been done. That's what we do in Nigeria. Every cycle of election, we go collect some peanuts and things like that, and we vote in a particular party. We know ab initio is not going to deliver on dividend of democracy. And at the end, as we finish, we'll go back to our lamentation and start screaming and start crying and start wailing in our bedrooms and our bed chambers. So this is the kind of cycle we have been having since 2015. Yes, we did not have the PDP at the time as the best performing party, because we felt that we needed something better, and because APC promised us so much, we decided to say, let us go for these people who have promised us so much. You remember that the former governor of Lagos State, Raji Fashola, made a statement at a point that a serious government will give Nigeria electricity within a period of 6 months. And the people, because of the person of Fashola and how he was accepted and the way they saw that he was performing in Lagos State, the people believed him and believed that if you give this crop of people a chance, they will perform wonders. And then he became a minister for 8 years, and the same power was given to him. He was not able to accomplish anything meaningful until he left office. So these are the things we are talking about. The same promises have been coming, and the delivery is the problem. So what are we going to do? Are we going to continue like this? Well, I think the people are the ones to decide.
The people will definitely decide. But then let's talk about the political party structures. Generally, from the cell to the branch to the caucus and what have you, the militia, and within the political cycle. A lot of people will say that the All Progressive Congress is more organized in terms of its structure. That's why all the minority political parties want to belong to a structured political party. But let's speak to the issue around structure. The PDP have a structure. The ADC have a structure. The Labour Party also will boast that they have a structure. But is the APC structure more formidable? And could this be a reason why people are even jumping the ship to belong to the All Progressive Congress?
Well, you see, most times we blame the APC for, the way and manner political party cohesion is seen within the opposition parties. Most times we blame the APC for extending its influence to these political parties and causing divisions and destabilizing them. In fact, as at just very recently, the ADC was accusing the APC of trying to fuel division within the party and trying to impose one of the persons that they consider to be a rebel and somebody that they have expelled from the party as the national chairman of the party. And these are some of the things that people say. But you see, there's no political party that will be in office that will not want to remain in office. In fact, PDP itself boasted that it will be in power for 60 years. And it's unfortunate they were not able to work towards achieving that. But that is the dream of every political party. You cannot stop the All Progressive Congress from doing things that actually will get them to have to maintain dominance, because political parties wants to remain in office, and the only way to remain in office is to win elections, and that is just it. So, and that is what the APC is working towards. But if you now will you now blame such political party for for the other ones who are supposed to be in the opposition for not coming together, to pursue power, as it were. You see, when the Progressive Congress came to be, it was the then ACN, the CPC, and splinters of PDP and splinters of ABGA and some other minority political parties that came together. And rather than them forming, what we are seeing today as a coalition, what they formed was a merger. They needed to form a strong political structure that could contend with the ruling party at that time, the PDP. And if they became formidable enough to unseat the PDP, and when they got to office, what they have been doing, they have been expanding their reach and making more inroads into all the other political parties, and the remaining members of the PDP, remaining members of other political parties. They are trying to bring them into their fold, and that is what any political party would want to do. But the challenge that we have in Nigeria is that the judiciary is one of the arms of government that we should look at as ought to be independent. But based on recent judgments and judgments by the judiciary since all this political experiment, you will discover that most times the judgment tilt towards favoring the APC. But also, some of these political parties also play into the hands of the APC. How do they do it? Like in the recent case of the PDP, you had a convention that you wanted to hold, but you as a political party, you knew that there were some states where you did not hold the state congresses, which is in a build-up to the national convention you plan to hold. That is one. Two, there was somebody that was supposed to participate, then you decided to exclude, and that is impunity in itself. And you decided to exclude the person, and the person went to court. And then these are the things that is it the APC that now made them actually to carry out to refuse to carry out due diligence and make sure that they abide by the rules and the laws of the land? It's not the APC. So yes, we understand that there are certain influences, as is perceived within the political landscape, that tend to weaken the judiciary when it comes to political party judgment delivered in political party leadership. But do you blame the APC? you cannot blame the APC because that is their role. They want to remain in office and they want to maintain their office. But if you decide to do the wrong thing, and you decide to give them a foothold, and of course they want to take a mile. So that is how it is. So the political parties should come together. The opposition political parties, they should come together and see how they can form a strong opposition that could take power from the APC when it comes to the general election that is coming in 2027. But the way they are, the coalition party, they started well, you know, when they wanted to form a coalition, they started well by initially, you know, moving as a political party coalition, you know, rather than individual coalition. But they later on watered it down to individual coalition, and then the thing has now made them to actually be having a more serious challenge from the.
So invariably you're saying that
from the APC.
So invariably you're saying that the APC have more formidable structure right now.
What is it about formidable structure? Each of them, they have formidable structure. It's about who has the influence, who has the money, and who has because
so money is involved.
Yeah, money is involved. It's not just about when we are talking of political party structure, we are talking of both the formal and the informal framework by which some of these political party operate. So you know, the political party in Nigeria, they operate in a hierarchical structure whereby you have the national, the zonal, the state, and everybody.
And the cell, the branch, and the
yes. So
and the military, the military. Let's not forget that part of the structure.
Yes. Yeah. So, but the thing is that how strong and how formidable are some of these structures, especially at the grassroots level. Some of the people you will meet, they will tell you, oh, don't mind the way the PDP is, that the PDP is stronger at the grassroots. Probably so, but probably it may not be so. But what is there is that what we need to do is that these opposition parties, if they truly want to have a contest in 2027, they have to rethink the way and manner they operate. Otherwise, there will be there's nothing there's no miracle they are going to perform.
Speaking of miracle, INEC as electoral umpire have been at the forefront of electoral reforms, but then this conversation around registration of political parties with formidable structure leaves a bitter taste in a lot of Nigerians' tongue at this point. But then let's even turn our attention to INEC at this point. Political parties without formidable structures that is well spelled out even in their constitution, should such a political party even be allowed to register even in from the basic of INEC? When it comes to political party formation and registration, there is a guideline. INEC has a guideline for the registration of political parties. If a political association intends to become a political party, what they do, they approach INEC. The INEC will give them the guideline, and the guideline stipulates what you should do to be registered as a political party. If you meet the criteria as specified in the INEC guideline for the registration of political parties, then you will be registered. There is no anything that can stop the INEC. I will not do an oversight function by ensuring that if you want to register, at least
you meet the requirement. Once you meet
the 774 local governments in Nigeria, you must be registered or you must have a footing across all of them, because this is
the primary requirement is that you should have about 24 states leadership structure in 24 states. You are supposed to have them and have your national executive in place, have the state executive in place in about 24 states. So that is what is required. That's one of the primary requirements. So, and then you have a national headquarters situated located in FCT, any part of FCT. So that is it. So there are certain minimal requirements that you are expected to have, and when you meet those requirements, and INEC did not register you, you go to court. In fact, there is one political party that was registered by reason of court order. You know, one of them, the recently registered the NDC. You know, he was as a result of court order that approached INEC. INEC turned them down, and they say no, we met the criteria. They went to court, and the court ordered that they should be registered, and they got registered. So that is how it is. So you cannot continue to blame the APC for the opposition not coming together to contest against their formidable force, as it were, because now I think we have the only PDP governor we have now is Sheyi Makinde of
Bala Mohammed Bauchi.
Bala Mohammed is already out because
he's not officially said.
Yes, he has not officially said it, but you know that was how Zamfara. That was how
these are speculations.
Yes, that was how Zamfara started as a rumor. And then
talking about Dauda
Lawal. He was if there was anybody, like you said earlier, that anybody would have gone to the APC, he would have been
because
Zamfara government, because
the government of integrity.
Yes, apart from that, apart from that, you know that he has been at loggerheads with some of the APC members and former governors
Matawali and the rest of
in the state.
Matawali.
So it beats imagination that he is now going to go and join them.
No, whether it is not sympathetic to the All Progressive Congress and the way Matawali welcomed him to the party.
Sure.
There have been speculations. And
the issue is that you see, when somebody is perceived as your enemy, whether rightly or wrongly so, the thing is that once the person comes to you and says he wants to belong to the same fraternity with you, for the yesteryears of hide and seek, you forget it and you embrace each other, and now you are in the same brotherhood, and that is it. So there's no need for them to start carrying out what is done in the media. That kind of banters that they throw on the media. They can't start throwing it any longer because they belong to the same fraternity, they belong to the same political party, and then every other thing that has happened before now is just a family affair. So and you'll be treated as such.
It's a political forgiving sin.
Yes, the sins are forgiven in advance.
All right. So let's even return back to talk about the political structures in Nigeria. You've said that, of course, we can approach INEC with the criteria, but then we've seen political parties across the board whose structures are not formidable, yet these political parties still present candidates for various election cycle across the board. Shouldn't we be even looking at the Electoral Act to even let the Electoral Act even accommodate the fact and the reality that if you're a political party, although enshrined in Nigerian Constitution, that freedom of association and also it's enshrined, it's captured in the Nigerian Constitution, but then shouldn't the Electoral Act also capture the fact that if you are not even present in the 774 local governments across the board, you should not be registered? Shouldn't the Electoral Act be speaking in this line?
No, that is not how political parties are formed. In the United States, where we borrowed our democracy from, and especially our presidential system, you see that the political party formation, there are national parties, there are less subnational parties, and there are parties that are within certain communities and domains. So those a political party is not supposed to actually become one national structure of a thing, because politics is they say is local, and then political parties, the registration of political parties should be made more flexible in such a manner that you will have some smaller political parties, have dominance within certain communities, certain states, and certain local governments, so that that will help to train some, especially young people, in leadership. So these are the things that are done. So but in Nigeria, we have over centralization of everything in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we centralize governance, we centralize power, we centralize road construction, we centralize everything is over centralized, and then it's only when the federal government is working that we now feel that there is work being done across the country. Most times you see that in states, they just collect allocations and nobody talks about them. Nobody talks about the local government. Yes, the local government have been struggling for the federal government to execute the order of the Supreme Court as regards to the autonomy of local government. But even at that, how have the states failed? Because the states themselves are not having any, they have been financially autonomous in the sense that they have always received the allocation directly from the federation account. But today, how are the states performing? The state governors, how are they performing? Some of them are doing fairly well, some of them are not doing well at all. So these are some of the things that is not just about whether there is a allocation that is given directly or there is autonomy or no autonomy. The issue is that the character of the individuals who occupy offices in Nigeria is something that Nigerians need to look at. And if we don't have political parties decentralized in such a manner that they can build from within certain localities and then begin to build characters in terms of the leaders those people that occupy offices, then it will be we are going to continue in this cycle, because what happens today is that INEC is an umpire that most people don't trust. They don't believe that INEC can conduct a free and fair election, and that is why most people want to jump into one political party where they believe that once they get the ticket, they are done. So, and that was what obtained even at 2023. But when the obedient movement issue came, he upset some of these people. And then you discover that you will not blame the APC for the way and manner they are tightening the loose ends of politics within the states, because what they experienced in 2023, the build up to the presidential election in 2023, they don't want to experience it any longer, whereby the obedient movement wave, caused a disruption within the political system in the country. So something that some people did not believe that that level of impact was going to be made, and then you see that these people don't want a repeat, and they want to make sure that they have control of the states, especially sizable number of states, so that they cannot play games and live based on believing that okay, the god of luck will be on our side when they don't want that. They don't want to be lucky. They want to make sure that they win the election by whatever means they are going to employ. But importantly, announce me as the winner of the election, and that is all. And let our party be the one that will be announced. But if the people actually wake up and follow the pattern of what happened in 2023 and get energized by that show, I'm sure that by 2027 some of the people that jumped ship may never return to their offices.
So at this point, we shouldn't be calling for the abolishment of the Electoral Act.
The Electoral Act, is it the Electoral Act in itself? The Electoral Act in itself the instrument by which you can conduct the election. That document has been amended.
For a lot of person, that document is a faulty document.
Yes, it's because it was 40. Yes, it's because it was 40. That was why the agitation for the amendment came in the first place. You see, there is no way you amend a constitution or amend electoral act that at the end of it you are going to have everything in order. It's not going to be possible.
You know why I'm saying so? Because in law, there is a legal maxim that says tempora mutante ethnos mutenos in illis. I'll say it again. Tempora mutante ethnos mutenos in illis. Time change.
Yes.
And we change with time.
Yes.
Right now, Nigerian has evolved. Our democracy is evolving. And I want you to believe that at this point, looking at the political structures of various political parties, it should reflect even in the Electoral Act. But then, it is not captured in the Electoral Act.
You cannot have an Electoral Act that is so perfect that everything and every desire of the citizens will be reflected.
Shouldn't reflect the current reality of Nigeria?
You see, it depends on the character of your leaders. You cannot tell me that I am sitting here in this studio and I control this territory within this studio, and then you want to come and bring about a law that will displace me from the control I have, the influence I have within this area, and then I will now be watching you to get that done. I will not. So it depends on how much force the individual political parties in the opposition is able to maximize their pressure to make me feel that, look, there's a threat if I go beyond this boundary. There is something might happen if I don't yield to what they are talking about. So what it means is that if you want to displace me, I will want to make sure I destabilize you. And that is the game of politics. If you want to displace me, I'll make sure I want to destabilize you in such a manner that you will not be able to displace me. And that is the game of politics, and that is the game that is going on. And then, structures or no structure is dependent on the perception. Because in 2023, there was a time the slogan was that the Labour Party had no structure. But at the end of it, that structureless Labour Party produced a lot of magic lawmakers that even though many of them have jumped ship to join some other political parties, but they produce a sizable number of lawmakers across the states of the federation, and that is what we are talking about. So structure depends on the perception of the person, because structure is about human beings, it's about people, it's about those who want to work for a political party. Structure is not although some people have said that structure, some people when they talk about structure, they are talking about corruption. But that is just it. The thing is that you must have individuals and people who are ready to stake their neck for the political party and ensure that their political party wins an election.
So as it stands right now, you're saying that the Electoral Act is a way to go.
The Electoral Act may not be perfect, yes, but you don't have any other law.
Stands right now.
Remember to go. Yes, remember that. Yeah. Remember that recently the ADC, for instance, was more or less lamenting that the time frame that was given for them to carry out the e-registration that is ongoing at the moment was too short, and how can they be able to produce a digital register of members within this short period of time? But they are doing it. So that's what we are saying. So all the political parties, they have all begun their e-registration. So that is it. So you have to work with the law that is in place, and then build a formidable structure to make sure that you displace this political party that you feel that is not all right and is not okay and is not leading well. And then when you displace the political party, you can now introduce those things that you think that will make the life of the people better, those policies, those legal frameworks that you think that will make democracy deeper. You introduce them, but you have to get to the office, and for you to get to the office, you have to use the legal framework that is actually on ground. And then you cannot, by crying because the legal framework is not perfect, and then you will stay and do nothing at all. So if you do nothing at all, we will go nowhere.
This is not making us to retrogress in practical terms.
You see,
the structureless political party doesn't make us to retrogress.
What, you cannot even be a political party without a structure. That is,
you've seen what is playing out. You've said the criteria.
You cannot,
of course,
because when we are talking about building structure now, you see that this
act, and it says that that you must at least have an office within the federal capital
exactly
and a few states.
Yes.
Now, this doesn't represent the whole local government structure, which is supposed to form the cell.
Yes. What the political parties,
which is at the FCT.
Now, when they
at the cell, so this, you're saying invariably that this doesn't matter.
No, that is not it. You see, when we are, what I'm saying is that there is basic criteria for registration of a political party. If you register a political party and you have met those basic criteria, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to begin to work towards membership, building membership. So membership mobilization to the world level. Because political party
must register first before start building membership.
Of course, because every member,
the political party does not have a structure at the cell.
It is not possible. It is not possible.
We'll see what has played out.
It is not possible. Let me tell you why it's not possible.
Even in the last FCT election, we saw what played out. Some political parties didn't even have agents represented in various area councils.
No, that is even a different level of politics.
Let me begin to talk about having a structured political party that have representation before even registration.
First of all, you cannot be a member of a political party unless you register at your ward, at your political ward. Even as a national chairman of a political party, you cannot be a national chairman of a political party unless you have registered at the ward level. So it is not possible for you to have leadership of a political party when they are not registered at the ward level, because that's what the law stipulates. You go to your ward to go and register. So it is there's no political party that does not have structure, really, because you must have a ward leadership.
When the structures are not represented in the various local government, states, and even at the federal level.
That is a
because the Constitution has stipulated, the Electoral Act have captured that you must be registered at least 24 states.
24 states.
Not the local government.
No, that is not talking about local government. Because first of all, invariably,
there is before you can that is captured in even 774 local government, there's no percentage that is captured. That you must register at least 700 local governments across board.
That is not part of the law.
So it's not part of the law at the moment. Is the Electoral Act not faulty?
It's not faulty, because what is there is that you are expected to be registered. Then you can now build your structure as a political party.
Register and build.
Yes.
All right. Comrade Ezema, we have a lot of issues we want you to even dissect even today on Correro, but I'm missing that right now that our time is fast spent. I want to say thank you so much for finding the time to be with us here on Correro.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Well, viewers, this is how far we can go tonight. Do not forget that you can leave your thoughts, your comments on our various social media handle currently showing on your screen, and you can also download the Rapid TV app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do enjoy the rest of your night rest. Bye for now.